So today we're going to talk about the future of Polkadot. I know, it's pretty crazy when you look at the price action on Polkadot. It's not really moved yet, but we're going to go over a lot of things that is coming, and money follows this type of behavior. And I know people are going to be commenting going, it's not really done much, but this is again a game of psychology. You want to buy into the pumps, you want to get rich quick, play the slow game. There's a lot of things happening with Polkadot in terms of developments. When the marketing is done correctly, and I am going to talk about that in a sec, it will probably do okay because money will flow into it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. AVAX, as you know, a layer 0 project, very similar in a way. He's doing very well. Why is this doing so well? It's due to some big news. Innovation coming from the likes of JP Morgan has made it go a little bit bananas in terms of current price action. So, a huge announcement, collaboration here is relatively big, and JP Morgan is a massive name. But I think over time, we got to think of the bigger picture here. And sometimes, as much as I just tweeted about it not too long ago with my little stroppy kind of cat look, the reality is here. Sometimes these short wins are not good for the sustainability. Yes, it will be short-term wins and stuff like that for certain people, but you got to try and think prices don't just go up in a straight line forever, okay? People will get, wrecked off news, people that have been short on this, all that kind of stuff, right? At the end of the day, developments are key, users key. All those metrics over time create a network effect. Now, AVAX is great, don't get me wrong, but you got to think of the bigger picture. This one pump doesn't mean it's a success, right? It's been a success for a number of years. Polkadot as well, in its own right, is a success. Let's talk about why. A coin essentially doesn't get 350 million daily volume and it's a flop. It isn't a 7.3 or 7.4 billion dollar markup cap and it's not a flop. So get those out your head. Will it grow? Probably yes, and I want to explain why. Firstly, let's talk about the obvious. Polkadot 2.0 is coming, and I've talked about this before. This is a snap overview, but I want to go into more detail in terms of why things are important. So, as you know, it aims to replace the existing lease-based model. Doesn't work, right? Parachains, crowd loans, right? You get the idea? Yeah, not great. The pay-as-you-go core system is going to be very much like an AWS type system where you can buy core time based off the rate that you want to achieve, your TPS, your throughput, right? You may want more, you may want less, you may want to negotiate little splits here and there. And you can buy, and it is a recurring revenue, i.e. it's a leasing period of a month or a year, bulk buy, right? Now, this will change a lower barrier of entry for smaller projects. This will stop the ache and the pains of being, I need to go and get some funding. It's kind of crap when you think, well, I've got to go and make a load of money because I can't afford to do it, and we've got to do a crowd loan and get a pool of people to do it. Makes it very, very harder to get into. And this upgrade will introduce new tokenomics and potentially boosting the DOT liquidity and trading volume. Let's come on to that in a second. Now, I want to talk about the obvious, right? When we talk about marketing, this comes into all this, right? These are 5 key clear points of why Polkadot can be, keyword is can be, a success. Now, as you know, Gavin Wood has done this a little bit, right? He's walked a little bit like this, right? He's walked to the side in terms of responsibility. He has not left, he is just coding, right? Big difference. There is no active central head. The idea of Polkadot is kind of similar to Bitcoin, where the community decides its direction. And let me come on to this in a bit, and it will blow your mind. Now, let's talk about demand first for the token. Yield through the native staking. More people stake, increases the scarcity, increases network security, all that kind of stuff. Also offsets inflation on the price. Demand for voting power. As you know, I will come on to this in more detail in a second. You can vote. You can put a multiple on this vote, which will lock up your DOT, increasing the scarcity. Yeah, cool. The demand for core time, right? The core time is a monthly tariff or a yearly tariff or bulk buy, or however many months you want to buy, for you as a parachain, a project, a substrate, whatever, a parallel relay, get the idea, to run on the ecosystem, sharing the security, sharing the governance. Yeah, cool, right? More projects, lower barrier to entry, it will equal more dot going into the treasury, into potential token burns, which is at the bottom there. You get the idea. The demand for secondary market ones, which is surplus core time that can be vended out for those that need it, right? So let's just talk about Glimmer. Glimmer might be going really ham at one point or something crazy, and it needs a bit more, and it can just boost the power. Also, it allows other projects that may not be fully interoperable with Polkadot to utilize that in a certain way. Ethereum virtual machine type vibes, right? Kind of makes more sense. So there's a lot of things out there. The second most obvious bit that we need to talk about is obviously DeFi services, right? The demand for all of these different side chains that we've got in terms of like, you know, all these parachains that are running DeFi services that are all linked to Polkadot, right? You can go into like the Bifrost, for example, you can use a DOT token and then you can use it on there with liquid staking. As an example, right? This will increase the network effect essentially, and more people are engaging with multiple services within the whole entire ecosystem, also using the Polkadot token in some way, shape or form. The last one, and obviously you can see this, is treasury burns. Revenue from core sales deposited into the treasury. Now, there is token burns for Polkadot. There has been for a very long time. It's not massive. It's not huge. Never has been, right? Let me explain and show you what they are. So these are the treasury burns, right? Very, very straightforward. As you can see, every couple of weeks, they get burns. Not massive. And I say that with a big, massive, like, well, it's not massive in terms of my eyes. Let me just have a little look and I'll show you how big they are. There we go. That one is 442,000 dot, right? Roughly the same sort of situation, right? Rewarded, deposited, then whatever's surplus is burnt. With what I mentioned just before, this will probably increase, potentially. We'll see. Now, let's talk about the treasury. Marketing. Now, the treasury, in my opinion, needs to be used. This is why we've got token burns in that sense. This is why revenue from the entire ecosystem, wherever it's going to be core times in the future, whether it's going to be through smart contracts that may be rumored to be happening, maybe, who knows, I don't know, just speculation. That could be interesting. Now, the treasury is enabling people to get paid or to be funded in activities. Now, this is just some of the stuff. Infrastructure developments, cross-chain, network, you get the idea, right? Marketing. Now, the treasury is a big, massive element of OpenGov. That is rightfully or wrongly doing its thing. Personally, I think the biggest areas of contention is always going to be this. Everything else, you can vote on it. If someone wants to build something but wants to get funded for it and it's a really good idea, there's a high chance that the community will vote yes to that because it will benefit the ecosystem and they're going to get rewarded in DOT tokens for it. That's tickety-boo, fine with me. What people don't like, crypto chains, hi, if you're watching this video, is when people are already in the ecosystem of Polkadot, doing videos on Polkadot, probably got a few people into Polkadot, then wanting to do more videos on Polkadot, to allow more people to get more videos seen by you on Polkadot, but you're getting paid a lot of money for it. That doesn't work. That's not marketing, in my opinion. What marketing is, it needs to be outside of the ecosystem of Polkadot to bring new people in. Why doesn't Polkadot just do a proposal on the OpenGov saying this amount of DOT's going to be used and we're going to pick and we're going to vote as a community on a Polkadot marketing strategy. That strategy is then maybe of hiring a marketing team, and then over 6 months we can vote, for example, this is a random example, if it's good enough or bad enough, and we can vote to sack or rehire someone. That type of vibe. This is very much like a Satoshi sort of vision where Gavin Wood and Rob and all these like big higher ups in terms of the coding world and the individual architecture of it at the start, the idea, stepped away and the community then decided what's going to happen next. So all this is interesting. We've also got the likes of bounties, right? Proposals, that's what I'm talking about. Proposals are crazy. Obviously the bounties as well. So basically, in reference here, this is where it gets a bit crazy, is when you go on to, the dot treasury here, for example, and all the proposals, these are all the proposals here, right? All the ones of obviously, which coin's doing it, the chain, obviously if it's Polkadot, if it's an individual, i.e. marketing, and it's telling you what they kind of want in the proposals. And what you do is you vote. And as I said before, you can vote and you can put, say, 10,000 dot into it, and you can put conviction on that. That conviction will increase your lookup. And then it's a yes or no. And we've seen recently, as you know, with crypto chains, he's got refused. But when you ask for 21,000 dot to just do videos and what you've already been doing, no amount of money you can throw at a video will never get you more views. I can put freaking $100,000 into like a year's worth of videos and change my whole entire setup. Will I get more video views? Probably not. No, it's all about me as an individual and my beautiful personality, my beautiful smile. Maybe not. Anyways, other things to talk about. The developments have increased and stayed relatively high for probably about 2 years. In a bear market, we often talk about which coin, which development cycle is doing best. What is really building in a bear market, right? Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink have been the standouts for most of the year. Hedra Hashgraph, Cosmos, yeah, there's some real good ones. Now this is old data, but you get the idea. This is kind of makes sense, right? This is throughout September, but realistically it's been like this most of the year. Polkadot and Cardano have been the top. Just kind of is. Interesting to think, what's going to happen when Polkadot gets adopted to more chains? Well, funny you ask that, because recently, as I say, Cardano has already planned and put plans in place to work with Polkadot, a partner chain, to enable the substrate framework that Polkadot and Gavin Wood developed to be used. Substrate, if you don't know this, is like a skeleton blockchain that you can like literally take out the box, you can tune it and you can tickle it and give it a little bit of a massage to run how you want it to, right? More and more systems, more and more ecosystems are going to start using it. Cardano is a big one. It's a pretty big one. Not to mention, Charles and Gavin have previously worked for Ethereum. Another one as well, and you've probably forgotten about this one, and the final bit I want to talk about realistically, let's be honest here, before I go on to a little bit of price analysis. Chainlink has been a part of Polkadot for a while, as you can see. 2nd of April 2021. Makes its Oracle palette available for Substrate, Polkadot, and Kusama chains. So, Chainlink already is embedded within Polkadot, and that is again one of the more developed and more kind of bullish chains at the minute, essentially ecosystems, right? The plumbing of the crypto market. But what people are pissed off about, and it makes obvious sense, let's talk about marketing, is the price action isn't very fun. Now, I'm going to give you my honest opinion here. Polkadot is lagging, right? It's kind of obvious, really. It's not rocket science. But I think the bigger picture is more in terms of where it's going to go. It's only up 65% from the floor, which isn't bad, but it's not brilliant. Look at AVAX, for example. Look at, quite a few coins have done incredibly well. Now, let's talk about my opinion here. Sometimes green, beautiful, lovely candles will create people as talking points. I think YouTube is secondary to Twitter. Twitter is where, or X, whatever you want to call it, has to be where the initial seed has to be planted for people to take note. Often developments like 2.0, tokenomic change, core time, potential smart contracts, potential more token burns in the future, demand for stake and reward, all that kind of stuff is going to light a little fire in people's heads to enable them to go and then search onto YouTube, what is Polkadot? How do I buy a Polkadot? What Polkadot wallet do I use? Is Gavin Wood still alive? All those kind of things will get people interested, right? That's when you start to see more and more creators create YouTube videos, right? I do it, right? Have you never noticed that when I do a YouTube video, sometimes I do something that's actually done something because it's got volume in searches. Exact search record is what I want. I want to know, what people are searching for. Oh, I'll do a video on that. Because often when I go on my Patreon, for example, I will do like a Q&A session every week. I do 2 of them, right? For technical analysis and for normal MMQs on Wednesdays. Often you find that when people ask for something, it's because something's happened. People ask about certain coins because they're already up 50% on the week. Same with YouTube, right? It's already planted a seed. Why is that going up? I want a part of that. I want to know why, right? So when we talk about marketing and we're going back to the treasury and like potential money getting drained out of it because people are trying to take opportunity, we kind of need to stop people who are already in the DOT ecosystem from using that as a little way of gain. Because let's be honest here, in a bit of an echo chamber, even me, I'm not going to do a proposal. Why? Because I've already done a lot of content on DOT. We need some people out there to literally talk about DOT who have never done DOT ever, or like really interested in it because all of a sudden they like it. And you will find when the price action goes, every content creator will do it anyways for free. So it's kind of a bit of a weird one, isn't it, when you think about it? But yeah, OpenGov seems to work. I just think if it does work properly, a lot of content creators will not get money. Simple as that. I'm never going to do a proposal, so don't recommend me to. Anyways, that's me done. Price analysis. We're still on the floor. I think a lot of institutional money will look at this and go, the developers, if the timing is right, let's talk about timing quickly, of tokenomics 2.0, as I say, core time, comes out, it might be better than what happened with the parachains. The parachain timing was awful. Can't help that. This timing might be much better. Anyways, long video. If you like my stuff, subscribe. And I'm going to go and cry in the corner.